Hi, this is Adam with Small Town Machine Shop, and I'm going to do a quick little video on this. Will be geared towards more you people who are purchasing your first lathe, and 99% of the time, your first lathe is going to be either a vintage benchtop lathe, and this is geared towards that, not so much buying one from Harbor Freight and stuff like that. I'll show you a few things to look for, and we'll go from there. These are two very different lathes. They have the same manufacturer, but what we're looking for is going to be the same. Now, the very first thing you're going to look at is the gears. You're going to pop open any covers. You're going to spin everything you can. The old ones here, you're going to inspect everything. That's the first thing you look at, especially the bigger the machines get. Same with this guy. Here, let's cover. Inspect your back gears, your main gears, your threading gears, all of that. Because a little bit of bed wear and some and some other wear other places you can work with, of course, depending the tolerances you're trying to keep, or if you're just doing stuff, faceplate stuff or long shafts. But this is in my opinion, the single most important thing is the teeth on the machine. So then what you want to do, most machines you buy will probably be cleaner than this one. And this one's pretty rusty dirty. If you can, take some really fine, like 4/0 steel wool or something, and a little bit of your oil or WD-40 or something like that. And clean up the ways and see how they look. If it's already clean and you're first looking at a machine and you want to know if there's a lot of wear, I don't want to back this up too much because the ways are really dirty. But what you'll do is you'll crank the carriage back. And if it starts to get a lot of resistance towards the back, then you know there's some wear here. Now the underside of the carriage is going to wear as well, but most of it will be in the bed. So if it feels tight as it moves back, then you know that here's the wear. And this is typically where you're going to wear, like in this first foot. That's another big indicator. It's hard to tell on machines like this, but any machine that has gibs, there'll be an adjustment screw, right? This one has side gibs. If they're adjusted like all the way in, then that's usually a sign it's pretty wore. That's another thing to look for. Make sure all your handles are in place, everything turns. If you're like a barn find like these, everything's going to be stiff. Everything is going to be stiff and tight, and a machine that's wore, like really wore but left out in the weather, can feel tight, but be pretty significantly wore. So be mindful of that. Just because everything feels good before you clean it, you might be in for a shock when it comes time to fire it up. So what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to clean this machine up a little bit. As you can see, I can't even see the ways. They're so dirty. So let me get them cleaned up real quick, and we'll see how we did on this one. I'll bring you back. Okay, so actually I cleaned up this lathe a little bit. And let's see, they're stained. You want to check for on the ways of a machine. Take your finger. See if you can catch anything with your fingernail. I cannot on this one. You'll see stain lines and stuff, or sometimes where this rides there'll be scratches. But this lathe feels really good. So, thumbs up there. And if it has a V-way, same thing. You'll feel it on the crest of the V. That's an easy way to check that. So yeah, and of course make sure everything turns. And until you get it cleaned up and running, well, that's hard to tell. See, this one it's a little stiff, but we'll address that. I don't pay much. I don't value much. A lot of people, when you're buying these older lathes, they'll throw in a bunch of tooling, but honestly, a lot of it just follows the machine, and there's not a lot of value in it. So if a machine seems high because it comes with a bunch of different lathe dogs and stuff like that, most shop people or home shop people and stuff aren't going to use a lot of the stuff that gets thrown in with these machines. So unless it's chucks, chucks are the only thing I really value when I buy a machine if it comes with multiple chucks. The tool holders and stuff, those things are so cheap online. Live centers are nice. I'll say that. So yeah, it's now the foreign benchtop lathes, the 7x14s and all those, they're quick and easy. You buy it, everything's new, you don't have to worry about wear. I prefer these vintage machines because you get so much more capacity and swing than you do with those machines. And these are priced, usually around there, depending on your part of the country. So that's my opinion. Is they're okay? You bolt this down, it's much more rigid than it is just sitting on your bench. Even screwed to a board, a thick, really hardwood board, will make this machine more rigid. And so, do your due diligence when you mount these things. You'll get more rigidity out of them. But in my opinion, I prefer the older American-made machines because you just get so much more capacity. The typical garage shop person is not going to do anything typically longer than a foot, 18 inches. But it's nice to, if you need it, it's there. But you'll get more swing, especially on a machine like that. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the topic of new machines. Now, if it's your first machine and you've been looking for a lathe forever and you're so excited, you finally found one, you're going to overlook everything I just said. And that's just how it goes. And I don't blame you. I did the same thing when I got my first machines. It'll be completely clapped out. It'll have maybe only a few of the gears are good, but you won't use those very often and stuff like that. But that's cool. Go ahead, get it if you want. It will teach you the importance of the gears. Not having all the feeds and everything, but it'll also teach you how to adjust everything and make stuff work. So yeah, that's just part of buying your first machine. Is your excitement will overtake you. The good thing about lathes is they're really easy to resell. So you could buy a machine, use it for a while, learn on it, clean it up, and sell it, and put that towards a bigger or better machine, better condition. So yeah, I hope some of you find that helpful. You older shop guys, you know all this. But if someone gleams a little bit of knowledge from that, then the video is worth it. Okay, this is Adam from Small Town Machine Shop. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.